Kept you waiting, huh? What's up, guys? RGT85 here, and yes, I am back from my Thanksgiving vacation. I'm sure you guys noticed uploads were a bit light last week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the few videos that I did put out, but I was out of town. I was enjoying time with the family, eating way too much food. I probably gained about 10 pounds. Yes, I did mess up shaving my mustache, so I had the Abraham Lincoln. Yes, I did get a new jacket here, straight from Grandma. It's got a little fleece on the inside, keeping me nice and toasty. And yes, we have to talk about the Smash Brothers leak, because I've been seeing a bunch of different people talking about this stuff. Obviously, the big thing going on right now is a full copy of Smash Brothers has leaked onto the internet. There are spoilers everywhere, and I thought I need to talk about this because there's a lot of different angles to look at when you're just looking at a Smash Brothers leak. And as someone who has worked in the video game industry for a while now, either as a writer or a YouTube personality, I feel like I could give some insight and some different opinions than maybe some other people are giving on this subject matter. So that's what we're going to talk about today, folks. I'm back from vacation. I'm feeling good. I literally just walked in the door, put my bags down, and said, it's time to film. So sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about these Smash Brothers leaks.
Hey, RGT85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards! So in case you've been living underneath a rock and haven't heard, the full copy of Smash Brothers has leaked online, and people are playing the game via pirated software, via hacked Nintendo Switch firmware, and are now uploading things to the internet and putting these things on YouTube. There's tons of spoilers going on around the whole thing. It's been a very crazy situation the past few days for Nintendo, and I feel like they're probably pretty pissed off right now because obviously Smash Brothers is a huge title for them. It is their cornerstone for the 2018 holiday lineup. It is a game that many people were looking forward to, and I still think people are looking forward to it. One of the first things I want to address with this leak is a lot of people seem to feel like, especially on social media, that this will impact sales of the game. I don't think it will impact sales of the game at all, because you have to figure it like this. The people that were going to pirate this version of Smash Brothers, the people that were going to pirate the game and get the game ahead of time, were probably not planning on picking up the game anyways. And I think that people that do have a hacked Nintendo Switch, that are just checking it out to see it, to play it first, to get a little bit of a competitive edge, I still feel like those people will want to actually buy the game. I think the margin of people that were that pirated the game and that don't plan on picking it up is definitely very minuscule in the grand scheme of things. So that's something that, you know, people don't really need to worry about that. The game is still going to sell astronomically. It's going to be one of the best-selling games of the holiday season, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. But we have to look at where this leak came from, because Kotaku actually just did a Discord interview with a guy named JJ, and JJ supposedly is one of the people who was leaking this all out onto the internet. And one of the things that JJ said was they felt that this originated from either a journalist or a street broken copy of the game. And really, that's pretty interesting to me, because I want to look at that from actually two different angles, because I did work at GameStop as an assistant manager, and I do get embargo codes and games early a lot of times to play so that I can review them, and then when the embargo lifts, you know, we do a thing on the game. So talking about the street date thing, I don't think that's very feasible, because I can't imagine that many stores already have their copies of this game already in. Knowing how Nintendo was back when I worked at GameStop, at least about, 10 years ago or so, you didn't get those games till like the week of, because Nintendo likes to release stuff on Fridays. December 7th is obviously a Friday, so we would usually get those games in on Monday or Tuesday. And then you can think to yourself, well, maybe it was a mom and pop shop that got the game in early and then broke the street date on it. But once again, I sort of feel like that's not really applicable to the situation, because I can't imagine Nintendo sending out earlier copies to places like a mom and pop shop, as opposed to, of course, a juggernaut like GameStop or Walmart or Target or things like that. So I really don't feel like it could be a street date copy issue, because I don't think anyone has this game. And then the journalist side of things, from what I've heard in many of my inner circles, there are no review copies out there right now. Even Kotaku said in their interview with this guy that they did not have a early copy of this game yet because of situations like this. Nintendo has really been cracking down on how you get review copies nowadays, and a lot of times they don't give it to people till like a day or two before the game actually comes out. So once again, I don't understand where this game came from, unless it was someone at Nintendo or someone hacked into a database or something like that. I don't know. Maybe you guys have heard of some mom and pop shops picking it up early, or maybe GameStop did get it in early and somebody leaked a copy, but I just can't imagine that being the situation. Now, of course, a lot of people are playing the game and, putting things up online, and Nintendo has been striking down channels that are doing this. And I'm sure you guys kind of want to wonder what my opinion is on this, because obviously these people are getting the games by an illegal means. They do not have, the rights to have these games, and then they're uploading the footage. And honestly, I think Nintendo's in the right here, and let me explain why. Because whenever I get a review copy of a game or something like that, there's something called an embargo. And what that embargo means is there's usually different tiers to it. You could do a preview on a certain date and time, and then you could do your full review on a certain date and time. So even if you are treating this person like a reviewer or something like that, they are breaking the embargo for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So they are, not within their rights to be doing this, and I feel like Nintendo should be doing something like this, because obviously this is an internal situation maybe, and people should know better at this point in time, especially when you're getting multiple channel strikes for things like uploading audio and uploading gameplay clips and things like that, because what's going to happen is people are going to get spoiled. And I know what you're saying to yourself, well, don't look at the spoilers if you don't want to see the spoilers, It's not like this is something that's right in your face, but it kind of is, especially when you think about how YouTube works. Because YouTube will basically, if you watch a lot of Smash Brothers videos, and you watch like the Nintendo Direct with Smash Brothers, and you watch previews of Smash Brothers and things like that, legitimate previews where people got clearance to do the preview, what YouTube is going to do is they're going to look into their algorithm, and if a video is doing really popular, a Super Smash Brothers Ultimate video that maybe contains leaks in it, they're going to recommend that video pops up as a video that you might want to watch based on what you've been searching and based on what you've been watching. So if you just pop onto YouTube, you might get spoiled by things like that. And that's how YouTube works. They want to promote videos that are doing well. They want to promote videos that are getting a lot of views. They're not really thinking of it, they're not looking at each individual video and like, well, is there a spoiler in this thumbnail? Is there something that this person might not want to see? No, all they're looking for are meta tags and SEO stuff. So if you put Super Smash Bros. Ultimate leak in your description or something like that, and somebody has been looking at leaks prior, before we knew all the information on the game, like the Grinch leak and leaks that we've even talked about on this channel, there's a good chance that that will pop up in your newsfeed. Now, as a casual Smash Brothers player, I don't really care, because if the game gets spoiled for me, it's like I know what I want to know about the game. I'm not really all that curious as to what the boss battles are in the single player mode and all the different music tracks and things like that. It's not the end of the world for me. I feel like I know all the stuff that I want to know leading into the game, and if something for me gets spoiled, no big deal. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. It's not a huge issue to me as long as I can play with my precious Belmonts in the game and check out all the cool little extra stuff that they added in the game. I'm fine, but I know there's a lot of people out there who don't feel that way, because they're very passionate about the Smash Brothers community. They're very passionate about the Smash Brothers game. And so for them to have the game ruined and they're not even looking for it, like, that's just so disheartening to me. I understand that people are always going to be pirates. There's always going to be people getting games and uploading, stuff that they shouldn't do onto YouTube and things like that. It's just the way of the world. Everyone wants some easy views on the subject. And if you get an early copy of the game and you're not restricted to an embargo, like, you technically can do what you want to do, but the problem comes into effect is that companies are also able to do what they want to do. I know my buddy Kofi actually got in some issues talking about Spider-Man. He ended up getting the game from a mom and pop shop early, and some of the stuff that he was doing actually caught the attention of Insomniac, because he wasn't supposed to be uploading that sort of stuff. It was even just on Twitter and things like that, and even just briefly talking about the game, but he did get in a bit of trouble with that, and I think he understood it. I think most YouTubers, people who do YouTube constantly, understand the risk that you are taking by doing something like that, because at the end of the day, these companies are a business. Yes, there's tons of fan service that Nintendo and Sony and all these companies do, but what ends up happening is they want to protect their stuff, they want to protect their fan base, and they want to have the biggest splash that they can when the game comes out and things like that. So by uploading this stuff, I can't say that I'm surprised that Nintendo is bringing down the ban hammer on these things. It was bound to happen. You have to imagine there could be some sort of bricking with Nintendo Switch units that have an early copy, because Nintendo has not released, as far as I know, has not released any review units of this game out there. So if somebody is playing Smash Brothers online or something like that, they could easily send out a patch to brick your Nintendo Switch, and then those people will be upset, but it's kind of like, why? You know the risk that you run. Obviously, people pirate ROMs and all old games and stuff like that all the time. That's a bit different than a brand new game. That's a bit different than a game that hasn't hasn't even been released yet. I do understand the fact that, you know, these people weren't going to buy the game in the first place, but still, it's definitely disheartening, especially if you're someone who's just trying to surf YouTube and you come across a leak and it could just be in a thumbnail or in a title or something like that, and then you get a moment ruined from the game. And Smash Brothers is such a big game that I feel like a lot of people are running into that issue. So it's definitely a very hairy situation. I really want to know, though, where the game originated from, because I honestly do not feel like it was a retailer. I honestly do not feel like it was a review copy of the game. I feel like somebody got a hold of this game illegally, somehow, some way, possibly inside of a Nintendo early, and that's how this game got out there, and that's how this game is getting spoiled for people. But I want to hear what you guys have to think about this situation in the comment section down below. There's been a lot of different people online talking about different things. Some people don't really care. Some people are pissed off. Some people think that, you know, Nintendo should do more, and they're reporting videos that are uploading early content of Smash Brothers. And honestly, I could see all sides of the situation. It's definitely a very complex and interesting situation, but let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the situation. And as always, thank you for checking out this video. It feels so good to be back. I admittedly was a bit bored. I kind of miss making videos, so I'm glad to be back. Be on the lookout for a ton of content coming in the next few weeks. We're gonna go ham in the month of December. I got nothing to do up until Christmas time, so I'm gonna spend the time with you guys. And as always, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.